Hey, it's time for Ed Tech Talk with Mr. Dan, and I'm Mr. Dan. In this video, I'm going to do an overview of Google accounts. Maybe you just got one, maybe you've had one and haven't really explored it yet. But Google accounts come with some really powerful stuff that just might change the way you teach. Now, in subsequent videos, I'm going to go into each of these tools separately and more in depth. But for now, it's going to be a quick overview. Even so, it's a lot of stuff to do, so hang on to your belly buttons and let's get started. Okay, first thing we need to do is get the screen capture program running, which I'm using Open Broadcaster, by the way, because it's free. It kind of works pretty well for me. And we'll start that recording right now. And we'll get our browser going. We need to log into our Google account by going to Gmailcom. And you wait, and in we go. And I went into my personal account. I want to switch to my school account. Now, this is an interesting thing. With your Google accounts, you can have more than one, and you can have more than one open at a time, as I do right here. I have my private or personal account here. It's just a gmail.com account. This one down here is one through my school, which is I got the school's name.com here. There is a difference. In an education account, you're going to get Google Classroom, which we'll go over in a separate video. And your domain administrator might limit some of the other applications that typically come with Google accounts. For example, Google Hangouts and Google Plus, we do not activate at the school for various reasons. And we also limit some of our documents and publications from being viewed outside of the domain for privacy reasons. Anyways, I'm going to show you my school account first. And if we have time, maybe we'll look at a few of those features on the regular Gmail. I'm just more familiar with my school account. I use it constantly, day after day, week after week, year after year. So here we are. Up there is my email account from work, and we come to the tic-tac-toe board, the apps control panel. You click on it. This is what mine looks like. Yours might look a little bit different. It should be the same set of icons, more or less. At the heart of your Google account is your Google Drive, and that's where I want to jump right into. This is awesome. Click on Drive. What Drive is it's file storage. It's 15 gigabytes in your typical free gmail.com account, and the education account, I believe I don't know, I think it's unlimited. It's cloud storage, so that if you drop your computer, a bus runs over it, kid pukes on it, whatever, your files aren't lost. You just get another device, log in, and there it is. You haven't lost anything. That's one cool aspect of it. The other cool aspect of Google Drive is that everything can be shared so that you can collaboratively work with coworkers or students, friends, from any place in the world. All they need to do is have a Google Drive account. Now, if you look at my account here, you see I have lots of folders. Each one of these rectangles is a folder. You see the little folder icon on it. I've color-coded a few. There's little people silhouettes, white silhouettes on these folder icons. That means I've shared these with other people. And if I come over here and click on Shared with Me, I can see documents and folders that other people in my domain have shared with me. So that's kind of nice that people share things a lot with Google accounts. Another cool thing about your Google Drive is that it's not just a storage place for your files. Yes, you can upload up to 15 gigabytes of stuff, but it also has a suite of tools, of Office tools, word processor, spreadsheet, slide presentation, forms, and these tools create these files, and they're instantly published on the internet if you want. You can share them with your colleagues from around the world, and that is a huge thing. Your Microsoft Office documents can all be uploaded and converted into Google Docs, and vice versa. When you've created Google files and download them, they are easily converted into Microsoft Office files. Sometimes a little bit of formatting is lost. You have to straighten a few things out. Also with slides, if you have sound embedded in a PowerPoint presentation, you cannot have sound embedded in a Google slide. I actually prefer to work in Microsoft Office on my hard drive. When I've got it, something fairly refined, I upload it. That's primarily for Microsoft Word and Excel. The slides, I prefer to use Google Slides. I'm just more familiar with it. I've been using it for a long time now, and I feel quite comfortable with it. Now, the other really powerful thing about your Google account, in my opinion, is sites. And you're going to have to look around for this icon, which to me has nothing really descriptive about it. It looks like a blue square with a white square over it. I'm assuming this is a window with an embedded document of some sort, but when you click on it, it takes you to your Google sites. Notice it says sites.google.com, and then it has my domain name after it. Here you can see all the sites that I have created. These are online websites for various things. Now I'll show you quickly my old classroom site from a year ago. And I built this from a template. It's their very first template on list of educational templates. But you can see here on the main page, a schedule has been embedded. This is a Google sheet, our lunch and recess schedule. It's been embedded on here. If I go back to the old homework tab here, this is from getting close to a year ago now. You can see a form that I've embedded. Here's a form, and I used the form to make a quiz about the Industrial Revolution. This was a practice quiz. I just embed it in the homework, tell the kids to go over these questions, fill it out, and we can talk about it in class the next day. And I believe, if I remember right, yes, here it is. There's a video that goes along with it to help them get a little bit of information on the Transcontinental Railroad. So you can see with Google Sites, Google Forms, and embedding a YouTube video, I've kind of flipped the lesson around a bit. Now, to build a site takes a bit of practice. Let me take you back. Let me just close that. On this page, when you go to your sites, you'll see create here. You create it, by picking a template. You can browse through their gallery of templates or start with a blank one. I kind of prefer starting with a blank one now. And you name your site. It fills in the URL here. And then you go into your editing. It's a bit involved at first, a little bit of a learning curve. It's really quite simple though, but you can embed any of your Google Docs into it. You can embed YouTube videos, pictures. You can restrict who sees what on different pages of your website. You can embed Google Maps. It's pretty complete. The one thing you can't do, you can't embed sound on it. I don't know what the deal is with embedding sound in Google, but they haven't quite got that going on their slides or their sites just yet. And if we go back over here, here's calendar. I've got a video or two out on Google Calendars you might want to look at for the details, but basically it's an online calendar and you create them and you can layer them on and you create events and you can have those events email you, notifications, you can invite people, you can look at other calendars that other people have created. As I said, I have some other videos, take a look at them. Now these icons here, sheets, slides, and docs, simply are the files that you have on your drive that are in these categories. If I click on docs, it brings up all my Google Docs. And I don't think I can create Google Docs from here. You have to be in your drive specifically to do that. So I'll close this stuff. Got a lot of windows tabs open now. Back to my drive. And of course we have email. Email is pretty basic now. I think most of you probably know how to use your email. And Gmail is a pretty standard email program. There are some neat tricks to it. If you come over your settings and you go in here, it's loading. You can go in here and play with a few things. You can set your profile picture. You can add a signature. There's a lot in here that you'll never mess around with. There are some filters you can use. I've got my committees and Ranger Scouts, etc., etc., etc. So anyways, that's my school account. If we switch over to my personal gmail.com account, I'll show you a couple unique things. Notice this is a little bit different. I've got the same icons rearranged. I've got something called Play here, YouTube, and a Google Plus account. It's sort of like Facebook, sort of like Twitter. Create circles of friends, families, people of similar interests, groups, and you can make little comments about what's new, add photos, and share links and videos, etc., take polls. I really don't get too excited about Google Circles and Google Plus just yet. Maybe I will in the future. Another thing I'm not too excited about is Hangouts. Actually, I was excited about Google Hangouts. Now, to get there, you go to your Gmail. But if you come over here, you see, it used to be called Google Talk. Now it's Google Hangouts. And you have video conferencing. You start video call, and you can invite people, and the way it's supposed to work is you just hang out and video chat with all your pals, multiple people at the same time. I can't get it to work. It always says something's wrong when I do it. The connection is no good, whatever. Which is strange because I have a pretty good connection for everything else. Skype conference calls, group conference calls all work very well for me here, but not my Hangouts. But anyways, that's my quick romp through Google accounts. As an educator, this should be very exciting for you. With the Google Drive and the Google Sites alone, you can flip your classroom and change how you work. The kids can collaborate, communicate. Those are two of the 4 C's of the 21st century learning skills that we're hearing so much about these days. PBL type projects with authentic audience. You can publish these collaborative projects like a slideshow, an ebook online. You publish it online. Grandma living on another continent can see it. Experts in the field can be invited to look at it and comment. It's a very exciting time to be an educator and have these tools. So if you haven't become familiar with these things already, you've got to experiment with it. Just delve in, start playing with the stuff. And you can always email me if you'd like, and I'll stick an email on here somewhere. I'm trying to think of which one I should use. So I'll be glad to try and help you. All right, so that's it for this quick overview of the Google accounts. We'll catch you next time on EdTech Talk with Mr. Dan. Bye-bye.